Right, good evening, folks. Welcome back to VP4TV. We're here for another match in the VP4 Virtual World 9-Ball Championship. We're on the one-loss side tonight. A race to 15. It's Cobra and BrainFellOut, both representing the UK. They're going ahead at the top of the hour. In the meantime, we have additions to the schedule. And if we check that out, we've got the match we have at the moment, or just about in about 5 minutes' time. Larry and Demon have arranged their match for Saturday at 6 p.m. I should be around for that. We have One Pocket Slim with Cold as Pillow on Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. I won't be around for that because Slim will be streaming it and I'll be coming home from work. LS3 and Bedhead. I should add that One Pocket Slim match and Cold as Pillow, I think it's the third round as well. And then, of course, LS3 and Bedhead will go on Sunday evening at 7:30 on the one-loss side. And I can be around for that as well. And then finally, we have Interchange X and Spectre Dawn on the one-loss side. And that is Sunday as well at 7:30. So we've got two matches clashing at the same time there. So maybe Slim will be around and we'll decide who's going to do what. But anyway, that's the matches that are on the schedule. And of course, if you missed it, we had a great match yesterday between Acero and who the hell was he playing it yesterday? I've forgotten him already. Goodness me. A round 3 match we had yesterday, it was Spectre Dawn and Acero. And it was a battle all the way, but Acero ended up being in front for most of it until eventually Spectre Dawn, when he was 14-8 behind, managed to put 6 racks together. His racks high run is 4 actually, so he never ran them all out, but he got 6 in a row one way or another to square the match up. But the man that held his nerve all the way through was Acero, and he was good enough to get the job done when it mattered at the end. And he's now got 2 very big scalps that he's taken down in round 2 and round 3. And now he's up against Matt MC Clarkey in round 4. And, well, the one-loss side is looking very interesting. We have that Interchange X Spectre Dawn match. We're about a minute and a half away from the room going up. Further down, we have Cobra now playing BrainFellOut tonight. The winner of that's going to play Stub. Bedhead, of course, up against LS3. That's on the schedule. And then they'll be waiting on the loser of the One Pocket Slim Coldest Pillow match coming across there. And then finally at the bottom, what the hell happened there? I've just realised. Well, I was saying Larry and Demon were due to play, but looking at the... See, again, that stays on the bracket. Demon has forfeited for whatever reason, and Larry's now through to play Bill, so I don't know the story behind that. Maybe Larry will tell us, or maybe even Larry doesn't know. But that's news to me, that one, because again, it's obviously happened today, because the bracket is still showing the match there. And that'll stay there until Saturday, or until Steve eventually decides that this is no good having these things on there because it confuses people. So that match is now a forfeit at the top of the schedule. Right, that's us done. It's top of the hour. Room should be up. One player is already in, and we'll get ourselves in. And good evening to Miasma. And welcome to Hairpig. What's the problem? No, there's not a problem. It's just the fact that match is still in the schedule when you look at it, but only when I looked at the the bracket there, did I realise that Larry's already through to play Bill. He's already through on Demon's forfeit. So obviously Demon's decided he can't make Saturday and has forfeited this afternoon at some point. So he has... Oh, hang on a minute. I'm not in Discord, and I'm not tabbing out to boot it up. And I've just lost my stream on my phone now. What the hell's happened here? Right, wait a minute. Right, I'm going to give BrainFellOut a target of 5 racks to get. I think that is well achievable. But it'll only be achievable if he plays it with common sense. Well, he won the lag, and he's broke dry. We've got that 3-6, which is, that's admissible. And 4 ball tucked away behind the 8, but you know, once the pocket's clear in the right side, there's not going to be any issue. No, it's a bit. The reason I'm not tabbing out to put Discord on is because I would already have it up and running if I knew somebody was coming. Now, Steve normally lets me know he's going to be there, so I have Discord up and running. Hairpig didn't let me know before the stream started, so I never switched it on, and I ain't tabbing out now to do it. Got to get things done in time. Got to give me advance notice. I'll have a quick drink. Because the first thing Discord will want to do is update itself. They update themselves about 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. It's as bad as Steam. Right, one thing to mention, and it's only relevant to those of you who played Virtual Pool 3 and were around about 20 years ago. To those that weren't in VP3, it won't make any difference to you. You won't know who I'm talking about. But, and this is true, this morning I had, about 20 years ago in VP3, yep. I had a sort of premonition this morning, and I don't know why. For some reason, a thought came into my head to go and check John L. I thought to myself, for some reason this popped into my head, and I don't know why. It said, the little voice in my head said, go and check and see if John Elsie's still got his photographic website up. And I searched for it. And I remember it was called John Elsie Photographic. And I couldn't find the site. So then I decided to Google John Elsie, Oklahoma. Now, for those of you who don't know, this was a guy who, if you go into the search window in VP4, you'll see that he does have an account. He was called Lucky Q in VP3. He was also called Lucky Charm for a short period of time, but his account in VP4 is the Lucky Q, and his account is still there in VP4, but he hasn't been in VP4 for a number of years. In fact, He only came in when VP4 first launched, and then he disappeared. But anyway, I couldn't find his photographic website this morning, and so I typed in John Elzey, Elzey, photograph, Oklahoma, because that's where he lived, or that's where he was from. And I then found an obituary site, a website for a funeral company, and he passed away on May the 25th. His father before him, Potog was his name in VP3. Both of them hated me for whatever reasons I don't know. I seemed to annoy them. And yes, as I posted on Facebook, yes, they did wish I was dead on more than one occasion. But as I posted on Facebook, I said, the irony is that I've outlived them both. Both of them are gone. Now, only Larry will... I mean, there's a few people responded on Facebook, and all of them are old VP3 players, because only them will remember who I'm talking about. And Larry will be one of them. I know whether Larry's in, I don't know. But Larry knows who I'm talking about, because I'm sure his father's name was Dell. And I'm 99.9% certain that the link that I posted on Facebook was correct. So he was 75 years old. And that's another one gone. And also, just before I came online, I was on Facebook, and a guy from my school years who wasn't at my school, but he was just a guy that hung about with another group of guys, and we played football with him, and he died today. And he's younger than me. But he had a heart condition that I noticed a couple of years ago. I saw a post on his Facebook page. So he's died today as well. No, Larry isn't here. No, I messaged Larry this morning, but Larry doesn't use Facebook very much. I don't think he really pays attention to it. It's the only way I've got to get a hold of him. But I sent him a message and a link for him to double check the thing I was talking about. Anyway, that's that done. Cobra's off and running. First rack in the board. And this should be second. It's going to be tough for BrainFellOut, but he's got to take any opportunities he can, and more importantly, make the most of them. It's a tough ask. Yeah, Whit knows who I'm talking about, yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, what it used to be was it used to just be Potog that was after me. Yeah, but I don't know why the two. I mean, Potog decided he hated me and wished me dead at the time, but then of course he beat me too. He dropped dead himself, and then Lucky Q started blaming me for his father dying. And now the two of them are gone. So anyway, it's 2-0. Well, BrainFellOut's he's got a potter's chance. The only thing is he has to string loads of pots together, and he won't be able to do that. It's about using his head as well. You know, there's other ways to win racks of 9-ball other than try to pot yourself out all the time. If you play within your limitations, you can leave problems for your opponent. But like I say, most of these guys have got 9-ball embedded in their heads, and you have to go for everything if you have any sort of chance. Well, I've given him a target of 5, and I think that already, looking at this, is a big ask. If he gets this, well, that's never going to do anything. That's not even getting to a rail. So there's the first big boo-boo. I don't know what he was trying there at that sort of pace. He was obviously thinking of ducking, but again, self-inflict. self-inflicted damage like that isn't going to help his cause. And this is what I keep talking about. Players making opponents making players like Cobra's life a lot easier by not even putting them under any pressure. And for years and years and years, we've watched, player after player doing the same thing. I mean, after watching Acero last night, and I said last night that that's the best I've ever seen him play in a 9-ball tournament like this. So consistent and solid all the way through that match. The interesting thing was how he would react when Spectre Dawn had done his comeback, and how he would react when the chance came to him to try and win the match, and he done it. He never even thought twice about it. So anybody watching that last night will be well aware that Acero means business in this tournament. It's going to ask a lot for him to keep that level all the way to the hot seat in the final, but I think he's grown with confidence every match he plays, and certainly the 2 scalps that he's taken out will give prior warning to anybody who bumps into him, even on the one-loss side if it comes to it. So 3-0 to Cobra. Well, this one's not quite as straightforward. You can only see some of the 1 ball, but if he can cross that 1 ball and send it behind the 6, he can get. Let me have a look at the angle he's got here. Yeah, he can try and send that behind the 6 onto the short rail and come up table. That's one option he does have, is send it behind the 6 onto the short rail. Well, he just hasn't got the legs. I mean, that's 2 foot short of where the cue ball should have been. But nevertheless, it's still giving BrainFellOut a dilemma here as to what he does. I mean, the bank is on, up past the 9. It most certainly is on. But if he's going to play it thin left side, he's got to watch he doesn't bump the 6. Well, he's trying to hold it behind the 6, but you need to get checking that cue ball. I don't think he had anything in the cue ball to kill it. And all he's done is just teed it up for Cobra. So that shot there needed, let me think, right English on it to check it and kill it when it went to the rail. I don't think he had much on it at all. But these are the type of matches we've seen all too often in these tournaments over the years. Players who know how to pot a ball, but their minds aren't clear because they're playing a certain guy. They're playing Cobra. BrainFellOut knows if he makes a mistake, he's going to pay for it. And it doesn't help his game with all of that going on in his head. Well, with that attempted safety, I think a target of 5 is maybe beyond BrainFellOut right now. I have to say that. He might be lucky if he gets 3, let alone 5. So he's probably, well, I would assume 3 rails, or at least 2 rails, if not 3, to get on this 9 ball. mean, all the wide open spaces that he'll need. He can come around and onto it. Watch the side pocket. Now, he went probably narrower than he thought he was going to be doing there, and that was suddenly a threat. It was going to scratch, but, you know, when players like BrainFellOut are waiting on some sort of charity from their opponent, they're going to have long waits. You know, it's looking like BrainFellOut's only going to get off the mark at the moment by Cobra hanging a 9-ball or something like that, or rattling an 8-ball, and he only has to pot 2 balls. It's that type of struggle. Now, here he's at the table, 4-0 down. He's got a dodgy cut in the one, and he's got a whole line of balls to try and hide behind. That needs to miss the 4. And that's a better one. Strong odds if he's going to get some sort of cover, but the problem is it's not difficult to hit. It's a big target, this 1 ball. Seems a lot of disrespect for fellow VPers going on here. What disrespect's that? Oh, Larry's there. Larry, did you read that message on Facebook that I sent you that you don't pay any attention to? Or did you see my post on Facebook? So you're agreed that it's 99.999% certain that that's Lucky Q, isn't it? John Elsey. That was a premonition I had this morning. I said that earlier there. It was a premonition. For some reason, a voice in my head said, go in and check and see if John Elsey's photographic website is still there, because he had a photographic website and I couldn't find it. And so I typed in John Elsey, Oklahoma, and I found the obituary. Well, BrainFellOut, this is your chance, as good as it's going to be, to get off the mark. Now, the 9-ball surely cannot come into play here. He's going in the gap. And this has just come across the table and not too far. Even if you leave it a wee bit short in the 8-ball, you're still going to run it into the top pocket. Don't go too far. Now, that'll do if he just lets this run out. If he lets this run out and go to the rail, you can maybe even put a wee tiny dab of left English on it, but he's letting it go short that way, and that's pretty straight. That'll do. Whatever way he's comfortable with to hold the control in that cue ball will do. So he's off the mark. Thank God for that. It might be a settler. I see Trump's fell out with his best pal Elon Musk or something. I saw the story in the news tonight, but I switched off the news to come and do the stream, so I never heard what the whole story was about. But I see Trump wasn't very pleased. He isn't long in making friends and falling out with people, Trump. You notice that? I think that lasted 5 minutes. Who's gone also? What did I miss there? Who did we say has gone also? No. What, you think she's passed away? What, you're not following her on Facebook? I would have expected a post by Wolfman on Facebook as regards it. I never saw anything earlier today. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to do that right now. I'm just going to switch the... I'm just going to go to Facebook and have a look. Wait a minute. Where is it? It's Susie, isn't it? Right. Shannon. That's her. I don't know whether Facebook on the phone gives you as much information as what Facebook on the PC does. No, I don't see anything. I mean, I'm looking to see what our last post was. In fact, hang on a minute. Let me go to Wolfman's page. Yeah, Debs is she's a friend on Facebook. Debs will know. Lady Hawk will know, and she was in the lobby earlier tonight. No, there's not any obvious mention there that anything's happened. Having said that, though, Wolfman's last post was in 2024 about some sort of strike. So it's a bit vague. You couldn't say yes or no. Anyway. But I don't think she's away. Yeah, she was on earlier on. Yeah, there's loads of people on, or former virtual pool players have all gone, and some will never know the outcome of. Most will never know the outcome of, because we don't have any contact info for a lot of people. Right, where have we got to in this match? It's 5-1 now. BrainFellOut, again, an easy kick, but it's a nice little kick to 3 in now. Now it's all about the 4 to the 5. Now, if he really fizzes this up, he might run just straight into that 6 with the cue ball and not get anywhere other than a long bedhead cut in this 5 ball. It's going to be tough to come out of there clean. This needs to keep rolling. It needs to keep rolling or slow up. And I don't think it's any good, is it? No. The only one thing that could cause the problem, the 7 ball. Well, the inevitable will happen here. Yeah, I'm going to readjust my target for BrainFellOut and make that 3. If he can get to 3 before the end of this match, he'll do well. I haven't heard anything from Stubbs' pal on Facebook for a long while. He sent me a message. What's his name? Look, Q Sticks. He sent me a message on Facebook about 3 or 4 years ago, and that's the last I heard of him. Well, he sent you a message in April. I take it he's still alive then. Or at least he was then. Right, 6-1 to Cobra. It's going to be the inevitable bloodbath, as we all expected. 2 ball goes in. 9 ball and 8 ball are tied up, so there's going to have to be a bump somewhere along the line there. In fact, there could be an elaborate 4 ball combo here for the 9 and 8 down the rail. How about that for a 4 ball combo? 1 ball onto the 7 ball, cut it onto the 9 ball, bump the 8 in. Or duck for cover, like you should do, like that. Although I think that cue ball can go through the gap there and catch the 1. Yeah, I think he asked me how I was doing it. I think maybe he's looking for new friends. I mean, I'm sure that he can come back to VP4 if he wanted to. I think he still has to apologise to Steve, though, as part of the deal. Steve booted him out the door, and obviously he was giving him abuse over something, but we don't know what that is. Yeah, I banned him, but we don't know the full story of it. And who really cares, to be honest with you? It doesn't matter what we think. And Stubb's not actually going out. Stubb never went out of his way to try and get cue sticks back. So much for friends. Yeah, cue sticks. You know who cue sticks is. You saw him around VP3. If you were there in VP3, that is. Now then, I think this is deep in the pocket here. BrainFellOut has got to be careful. This could go right around the corner and miss the 3 completely. It can certainly come down past the left side of the 4 as we look. Let's have a look quickly. He's going up and down. That's never anywhere near it. I'm surprised he didn't just jack up and spin the cue ball a wee bit. But anyway, what's done is done. The only other thing that's the issue is that the 7 and 9 are sort of locked up. So it's not quite straightforward for Cobra. VP4 was 2012. 2012, and then the offline was out. No, is it the other way around? The online was on before the offline came out. I think it was August 2012, something like that. Right, so well, the 8 ball, not the 8 ball, the 7 ball won't cut. So this cue ball is too straight, and even if you go and try and spin it up, you can get too much spin in the cue ball and it won't go anywhere. If you hit this too hard, you're likely to get less movement. So he's actually trying to draw it. Right, well, he could have a go at... can he squeeze that in? I think he can get to that there. Because I'm seeing double edges here. That looks close. I think he can squeeze it in. Yeah, that Dassault, I haven't seen him for a while. Now, was that legal? Won't matter. He's scratched. Oh, look at the 9-ball, though. The 9-ball stuck in the 8, and he's got no shot. That's how your luck is, BrainFellOut. You have ball in hand, you can do nothing with it. Well, I'm kicking that every day of the week. Cobra's not going to hang about. That's dead set. The only thing it might happen is it could catch the knuckle. The line is going inside. The line is going into the rail with this 9-ball, and it could catch the knuckle. And if you flush it like that, it goes in. That was perfect. So that was a huge mistake there by BrainFellOut, leaving the combo. 1 ball looked into the side pocket, decided it wasn't having it, and the brake's dry, but it's 7-1 to Cobra. Yeah, whatever happened to Allenville? Oh, he works for antivirus. Oh. Why is he not on here giving out freebies then? That's overcut. It's overcut, but he's got lucky and hooked him behind the 6. Again, an easy kick to hit the 1. Right, see you later. Well, you're even hoping that BrainFellOut gets to 3. I think he's going to struggle. That was well played. I thought he'd fully hooked him there. So if everything is going according to plan, we now have that meeting of Cobra and Stubb. I maybe jumping the gun a bit, but that's what it looks like. By the way, Larry, did you know that you've been advanced through to the next round? That's what I forgot to mention. I know the match has been arranged for a few days' time, but did the guy message you to say he was forfeiting because he's forfeited today at some point? Yeah, go and check the bracket. I just discovered that 2 minutes before we started. I'll show you there. Where are we? Down this side, isn't it? There we go. Demon has forfeited. Larry's through to play Bill. So that's an all USA affair, that, and it might be more a USA time zone arrangement. And Slim can probably get that one if it's going to be at a more suitable time for Bill and Larry. And meanwhile, the lead goes to 7, and Cobra's halfway home. Well, obviously, the guy never messaged you then, or you haven't checked your profile to see if he sent you a message, but he clearly has thought he can't make it for whenever the match was set and decided to bail out. Haven't seen Potman around anywhere since he forfeited his match. A nice little bump resting on the 7. Now, it's a question of whether he comes across between the 5 and 7 or whether he goes between the 7 and 4 as far as what gap he's going to shoot through. Now, I think that he could probably try and go inside. The reason I'm saying that is that he can get the cue ball out and away from the 2 balls that are near the rail, the 5 and the 9. He can come around the other way. It's now a question of whether he wants to get closer to the 4 or whether he just wants to leave that straight in. But the problem is he's got to get back for the 5 again. I mean, the 5. Let's have a look at that 5 into the side. Unless he fancies playing the 5-9 combo, but I mean the 5 will definitely go in the side. But he's got an angle where he could stun across and just play the 5-9. Does he want to just nip down and play the 5 up the table? So he's got a decision to make. Probably going to play the 5 up table as we look. Looks like it. He's drawing. Well, he's trying to bump and use the 9. Well, he got a double kiss that helped him there, because that could have went funny quickly. Well, that's clashing with matches that are on at the weekend. I don't know what ones I'm going to stream, but that's clashing with something. I know that. Let's have a quick look. Because I'm sure we've got something on Saturday night. What have we got? In fact, we've got 2 matches. What one was it? Was it Sunday or Saturday? Sunday, Slim plays Coldest Pillow at 1 in the afternoon, so that I won't be there for. LS3 Bedhead Sunday at 7:30, and then you've got Interchange Expected on Sunday at 7:30. So those 2 matches clash. So then you'd have 3 matches overlapping. So if Slim's around, he'll be doing one, I'll be doing the other. And then whatever happens there. So you'll get 2 matches clashing, or 3 if Larry and Bill go at it at that time. Cue ball. And there's that pattern with the 3 balls. Most annoying. 8 ball is split from the 9, so it goes both ways. 8 ball into the side or the corner. So it's a lot easier table that way. Although the first shot for Cobra here, with the 4 ball having gone in the break, is going to be the combo. And he's nailed that. Saturday, you said? Yeah, Saturday's. There's. Well, that's going to be weird. There's a problem with that, Larry. You might need to message. I don't know what the hell happens here. If you arrange the match for 8 p.m. Saturday, everything will be fixed, because that comes off the schedule. That was the one that was confusing me. I forgot about the demon thing, but that'll disappear come 8 o'clock British summertime or 3 p.m. Eastern. Right, so backing across the table for the 7. This is just a wee bit. It's just a wee bit fiddly. The touch has got to be good to go over that left side. He's hit it soft. He's actually hit it a wee bit too soft because he would have liked to have been playing this clean. That 8 looks as if it could go in anyway. But it's certainly, if he doesn't hit this too hard, the 8's certainly going to this left corner pocket. But the problem is with the 9 ball in this situation, it could get mixed up here and mess up the shot. That's assuming he gets the 7. Good evening to Mooncake. Well, he's chipped off and knocked a 9 ball, and the 8 ball stays in situ, and that's perfect, and it's going to be double figures. It's going to be 10-1. This match won't be lasting long, Mooncake. Race to 15. Now, what was that went in the side there? Was that the 2 again? Yeah, 2's gone. Well, there is a gap to try and spin the cue ball up and get to that 1 ball up and down, right side of the 3 and then inside the 3 and 9. But that's very dodgy to judge. I mean, he could go short rail there and kick the 1, no problem. Behind the 5, he can go there. That's easy enough to hit. Well, he's decided to play the push out, and BrainFellOut has the choice of playing or passing. And he hasn't got the cue ball running. I mean, I presume that was all out for some sort of combo in the 9 there, but well, he's actually got cover behind the 3. Now, you've got to hit this with a spin, but not too hard. You can't get the cue ball running at pace like that. Was perfect enough to get the hit. He got it too solid in the end, but it's asking a lot for BrainFellOut to get out here. But he has a chance, whatever way you look at it. It is a chance. Yeah, well, as far as we know, he's biding over in Shooter's Pool. Well, I think you might have a long wait, LS3. I think this is his one opportunity that he's had to actually try and run out a table. This is going to get ugly if he doesn't bump the 8. Oh, well, he's still okay. He's got a shot. Well, you've got to go for this, haven't you? I mean, you might as well. And he's looking at how to see if he can actually get in there to cut that 4 onto the 9. He's got to cut it across the 9 slightly. I don't know whether he's got enough room to get the line that he wants. Yeah, it was close. I don't think he could quite get enough. So now Cobra can go tight in behind the 9. Let's have a look. I think that should be the plan. It should be tight in behind the 9 and around the corner and down on the shorter side of the 6. That's what he's doing. Just like that. Looks pretty good. Now, thing is, the cue ball clearly wants to run into the 7. Now, does he want to hit this a wee bit harder so that it will go to the rail and come out and he'll possibly have a shot up table or maybe into the side? Yeah, that's what he's looking at. That's perfect as well. Well, in the sense that he's got the pot, he's going to have to just nip up and down, but I mean, he can nip across and just leave him the slightly longer pot on the 8, so there's no problem. Everything is fully under control with the cue ball. And, well, 46 minutes we've been playing. It's not going to last much past the hour, this match. (11-1). And a ball has gone in. Another one's gone into the side. Another one's gone into the other side. 5 and 6 are definitely gone. And the 7 also. A trio of balls have gone. And this cut back into the top left-hand corner will give Cobra his 12th rack on the board. Oh, tell a lie, I forgot about the 1. Again, I mixed that up with the 9 ball. My bad, it's that time of night. And wouldn't you just know it that he's given BrainFellOut nothing? Back to work for me tomorrow. Well, for once, BrainFellOut, I think it's a roll of the ball. I think he's had a little roll of the ball. Yeah. About time as well. Now, did he get an edge of that? Because there's a 1-9 combo sitting here. You know he didn't. So BrainFellOut, I think you shouldn't try to be a hero here and try and run the table. Get the 1-9 combo done and dusted. Well, that's his second rack on the board. A little bit of charity there from Cobra. Not much else, though. Eight ball tracking. 2 balls going into the left side. And this is as good a table as you could ask for here for BrainFellOut. He's not got a lot to do here. The biggest problem that he's got is getting up table clean to the 4. Now, if he gets up onto that short rail up top, he's fine because he can drop the 5 into the left side as we look. This is going to be no good. That's a terrible shot. That is a god-awful shot there. Where BrainFellOut clearly hadn't worked out how to manoeuvre that cue ball. And there's the chance come and gone. And that's exactly where loads of players fall short. When they have tables that there isn't an issue, and when it comes down to it just be the cue ball getting moved, that's where they need to up their game. And BrainFellOut was stumped as to how to get that cue ball coming out of there. And it's cost him again. Well, I think BrainFellOut may have had his fill here. That might be all he's getting. 2 in the board. Our balls have gone again. The 6 and 8 have gone. However, the one ball isn't going anywhere clean. Yeah, yes, he could try and cut that and play the combo. But as far as I'm concerned, it's far easier to play a safety. We can just bump that around the corner and duck in behind the 7. And that'll do it. Simple as that. It's a lot simpler to play the safety shot than it is to try and come up with some sort of heroic combo. And that's the right shot. Could have done with been tighter on the 7 though, because it hasn't blocked off the long rail on the left. Because you can kick it from this short side and hit that one. And the rest will be history in a minute. Ball in hand. That's the difference for these guys. If you end up giving up the table with ball in hand in this situation, it's pretty much an odds-on certainty that this is going to be out. And then if you sit and ask yourself the question, why? It's a simple answer. It's all about knowing where the cue ball's going and how to get there. He's overhit that, though. He's overhit that by a margin, because that 3 ball cleanly goes, and it still does, but it's just a bit more testy when you're square on like this. Now, the cue ball wants to go to the left side pocket or hit the point near it or whatever, or maybe above the pocket and go around into the table again for the 4. That might be just what's playing in his mind. So he's trying to cut it and spin it to avoid all of that, and that looks pretty good to me. That's a very well played shot. He's got a bit of a cutback, but you see how he knew the situation, he knew the problem, and he jacked up and got into the cue ball to spin away from that possible scratch in the side pocket. And he might bump the 7 here. So again, he's having to draw just to avoid all of that and take the longer 5 ball. And this is what you have to see those shots. Good players will see the problem and take evasive action. And, you make the shot more difficult by jacking up and trying to draw away from the side pocket, but he executed it perfectly. And that's the sort of subtle little differences between, being a potter and being a very good player, is those little extras that you can execute and play and get the job done. So, Cobra's 2 away, and the 1 and 2 have gone. He's got a 3-4 combo, which is not that difficult. The only thing with this shot is that the 3 ball goes to the rail, but the cue ball's going in the wrong direction. And I think the other problem is the 8 ball's sort of in the way of where you want to hit the cue ball, and he's hoping to spin out and get lucky, and I think he has done. He's landed a dream there with that little bump for the 3 onto the 7, and that keeps everything in play. And he's going to be on the hill breaking for the match in a minute. Does a 6 ball go past the 9? Of course it does. Loads of room. Well, BrainFellOut has just been a stepping stone for Cobra, because Cobra's got bigger things in mind here. Having been sent to the one-loss side from Albinario, Cobra's now got to do things the hard way, so he will be fully focused. And of course, now we know that he's most certainly going to be playing Stubb, and any possibilities can happen in that match. I don't know whether Stubbs said he's fine yet, and I don't know whether Steve knows, because I haven't seen him. But it could be a double up here if Cobra does him in the next match, and Stubb quits before the end of that. It could be a hefty fine for the two quits. Well, good evening to Blind Hog. You turn up at all the awkward times right at the end of a match. Can't even get here in time. Right, so 7 ball has gone. 1 in the side, 2 in the corner. Going to have to get a wee bit cute with the 3 ball, though. Now, the thing with the 2 ball is you can nip across to this short side if you fancy it. No, he's trying to get up above into the corner, and that's perfect. Perfect in the fact that he's on the 3. Now, can he get himself out of there? He might use the 8 to draw off the 3 and keep the cue ball on the table this way, and that's perfect again. This is all over, folks. This is just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, as they say. And also the final nails in BrainFellOut's coffin are getting hammered in right now. So there might be the odd latecomer to the stream. We'll just double check that schedule and let you know what's happening or what isn't happening, more to the point, because the schedule becomes confusing when people forfeit before the match, because Steve hasn't got it written into the code to clear the schedule and update it. That's an oversight on his part, that he never actually thought of that when he was coding the whole thing. So well done to Cobra. BrainFellOut didn't get to 3. I gave him a target of 5, which clearly was far too high a target. But a comfortable win for Cobra. And the inevitable happened for BrainFellOut. I think he knew that was coming. But, you've got to play at a pretty high standard to stay in matches against these guys. Right, this bracket, that match with Larry and Demon won't happen. That's already been forfeited. And Larry's already talking about Bill and him playing their match at some point on Saturday evening anyway, because that's who Larry plays next round in the one-loss side. On Sunday, very early if you're in the USA, One Pocket Slim is playing Coldest Pillow in round 3 match, I believe. And that's at 1 p.m. British Summertime Sunday. I won't be there for that. Slim will be streaming it, and I'll be coming home at that time. I finish at 12:30 on a Sunday, and I'll be driving home and getting something to eat. So I might catch a little bit, or I might miss it completely. LS3 Bedhead on the one-loss side, and that goes ahead at 7:30 on Sunday evening. And we also have Interchange X, Spectre Dawn. And these are one-loss side matches. And that one-loss side match goes ahead at the same time. So let's hope that Slim has recovered from his match earlier in the day. And we decide who's going to cover what in those 2 matches on Sunday. Hopefully we'll have live streaming commentary on both of them. So that's it, folks. It was never going to match up with last night's effort from Acero. We knew that. Cobra will get confirmation now that he is going to be playing you-know-who in the next round. And there it is. We have Cobra against Stubb. And that match, of course, Interchange X and Spectre Dawn. So all the matches left are all good. And in theory, everybody that's still in this has a chance of winning this. They are all capable. And probably out of those that are left in, Stubb's probably the least likely to win it when you look at it. That's being honest. Acero with Matt, they have until June the 18th to get their match arranged, so they've got a good bit of time to get that done. Or is it June the 10th? Is it my eyes? Let me have a look. No, it's June the 18th, so there's a good while for them to arrange that, especially when one lost side matches have still to get played as well. So that's all taking shape. Matches are dwindling, the bracket's thinning out, and them that matter are still in it. So we will see you again soon, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for your company. Do hit the like button. It only takes a second. Try and help that algorithm with bloody YouTube. And we'll see you again very soon. Take care and good night.